Good morning, students. I welcome you all for the online session classes of business studies. Last class we have studied about the management, nature of management. Today we will be going to start our next topic, that is levels of management. Levels. As we know, when we come to this particular word, it says that it is having some stages. It is not like that it is flows in a one direction. It is having three different levels of management. In an organization, the whole organization is so large that it has been divided into three levels: top level, middle level, and supervisory level. So management is required at every level, that is top level for the making of the plan and the chalking of the planning, organizing it, and the middle level for executing the plan of the top level, the management is required, and the supervisory level to make the work to be done by the workers, the planning, the management is required. So the thing is that at every level management is required. Let us start our topic of levels of management. Management is a universal term used for certain functions performed by individuals in an enterprise who are bound together in a hierarchy of relationships. Every individual in the hierarchy is responsible for successful completion of a particular task. To be able to fulfill that responsibility, he is assigned a certain amount of authority on the right to take a decision. This authority responsibility relationship binds individuals as superiors and subordinates and gives rise to different levels in an organization. Generally speaking, there are three levels in the hierarchy of an organization. I think the point hierarchy and all these words are clear to you people. Hierarchy means top level, whatever order they forms, it goes directly to middle level, not to the supervisory. It means the real hierarchy, the person who hires the top levels things are the middle level. So that is the word hierarchy. Let us continue with the three levels of management. The very first level is top management. The second is the middle management. Sorry. The third is the supervisory or operational management. Let us start with the top level management. They consist of the senior most executives of the organization by whatever name they are called. They are usually referred to as the chairman, the chief executive officer, the chief operating officer, president, and the vice president. Top management is a team consisting of managers from different functional levels heading finance, marketing, etc. For example, chief finance officer, vice president, marketing, their basic task is to integrate diverse elements and coordinate the activities of different departments according to the overall objectives of the organization. These top level managers are responsible for the welfare and survival of the organization. They analyze the business environment and its implications for the survival of the firm. They formulate overall organizational goals and strategies for their achievement. They are responsible for the activities of the business and for its impact on society. So the thing is that top management, as we come to know, they are having so tough job. They is so complex and their job is so complex and stressful that they on their ideas and their planning the whole organization is dependent. So that top level requires management, because without management if they can't do any of the tasks which they have to perform. The second level is the middle management. Middle management is a link between top and lower level managers. They are subordinate to top managers and superior to the first line managers. They are usually known as division heads. For example, production manager. Middle management is responsible for implementing and controlling for controlling plans and strategies developed by top management. At the same time, they are responsible for all the activities of first line managers. Their main task is to carry out the plans formulated by the top managers. For this, they need to interpret the policies framed by the top management, ensure that their department has the necessary personnel, assign necessary duties and responsibilities to them, motivate them to achieve desired objectives, and cooperate with other departments for smooth functioning of the organization. At the same time, they are responsible for all the activities of first line manager. So I think it is clear to people what is the duty of the middle level manager. There is a link between the top level and the supervisory level. Their work is to coordinate between them. Their duty is to make ensure that all the planning which is made by the top management is followed by the supervisory level. They have to interpret their policies framed by the top management to the mid supervisory level. They ensure that their department has the necessary personnel which is needed for doing the job. So that is the work which has to be performed by middle management, and for that middle management task, management is very important. Next is the supervisory or operational management. Foremen and the supervisors comprise the lower level in the hierarchy of the organization. Supervisors directly oversee the efforts of the workforce. Their authority and responsibility is limited according to the plans drawn by the top management. Supervisory management plays a very important role in the organization since they interact with the actual workforce and pass on instruction to the middle management to the workers. Through their efforts, quality of output is maintained, wastage of materials is minimized, and safety standards are maintained. The quality of workmanship and quantity of output depends on the hard work, discipline, and loyalty of the workers. So that is known as the supervisory level management. The supervisors who have to make the work to be done by the employees so that actually the organizational objective can be achieved. So they are maintaining the safety standards, and they are seeing that wastage of resources will not be there during the production process. So all this work have to be done by the supervisory level, and for that work they require management. So there are 3 levels of management which what we have learned: top management, middle management, and operational management, or we can say supervisory management. Now next the topics which we will be going to start is the functions of management. Management is described as a process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the efforts of organizational members and of using organizational resources to achieve specific goals. The very first function of management is planning. The planning is the function of determining in advance what is to be done and who is to do it. This implies setting goals in advance and developing a way of achieving them effectively and efficiently. In Smita's organization, the objective is production and sale of candles. Smita has to decide quantities, variety, and color, and then allocate resources for their purchase from different suppliers. Planning cannot prevent problems, but it can predict them and prepare contingency plans to deal with them if and when they occur. So the thing is that planning is the primary function of management. In that function, we decide about all the things: what is our objective, how we will be able to achieve that objective, and who will be doing the work to achieve that objectives, and what work they have to do. That all the things are decided in the primarily in the planning. Second is function of management is organizing. Organizing is the management function of assigning duties, grouping tasks, establishing authority, and allocating resources required to carry out a specific plan. Once a specific plan has been established for the accomplishment of an organizational goal, the organizing function examines the activities and resources required to implement the plan. It determines what activities and resources are required. It decides who will do a particular task, where it will be done, and when it will be done. Organizing involves a grouping of the required tasks into manageable departments or work units and the establishment of authority and reporting relationship within the organizational hierarchy. Proper organizational techniques helps in the accomplishment of work and promote both efficiency of operation and effectiveness of the result. Different kinds of business require different structures according to the nature of work. So in short, if we want to know about the organizing, which is the function of management, it does the function of assigning duties, grouping tasks, establishing authority and responsibility, allocating resources required to carry out a specific plan. That is known as the organizing. Whatever plan we had made, we have to chalk out into the form, and it is known as organizing. Without organizing the things, we cannot say our plan will be success or unsuccess. Next function of management is staffing. Staffing, from the word it's clear to you people. Staffing means to appoint the personnel for doing some tasks by which we want to achieve our objective. So staffing, simply stated, is finding the right people for the right job. A very important aspect of management is to make sure that the right people with the right qualification are available at the right place and time to accomplish the goals of the organization. This is also known as human resource function, and it involves activities such as recruitment, selection, placement, and training of personnel. Infosys in technologies which develop software need system analysts and programmers. These system analysts and programmers are the people who are required for the software designing. The fourth function of management is the directing. Directing involves leading, influencing, and motivating employees to perform the tasks assigned to them. This requires establishing an atmosphere that encourages employees to do their best. Motivation and leadership are the two key components of direction. Directing also involves communicating effectively as well as supervising employees at work. Motivating workers means simply creating an environment that makes them want to work. Leadership is influencing others to do what the leader wants them to do. A good manager directs through praise and criticism in such a way that it brings out the best in the employee. So directing making clear to people. Directing is a functional management in which the person, that is the manager, direct the people so as to achieve the objective of the organization. The direction can be in the motivational form or in the incentive form or in the leadership form. It can be in any form so that the employees will develop the interest to do the work, and by their interest the work gets easily and effectively completed. The fifth function of management is controlling. Controlling is the management function of monitoring organization performance towards the attainment of organizational goals. The task of controlling involves establishing standards of performance, measuring current performance, comparing with established standards, and taking corrective action where any deviation is found. Here, management must determine what activities and outputs are critical to success, how and where they can be measured, and who should have the authority to take corrective action. So controlling is the function of management in which the manager does the work of monitoring the work which is going inside the organization, so that he can monitor that he can monitor and can see the standards are matched with the actual performance or not. If any deviation comes, it is the duty of the manager to come out with the deviation by taking some remedies and measures so that in future it will not come, and also we will be able to achieve our objective without wastage of resources. The various functions of a manager are usually discussed in the order given above, suggesting that a manager first plans, then organizer puts staff in position, then directs, and finally controls. In reality, managers are rarely able to carry out these functions in isolation. These activities of a manager are interrelated, and it is often difficult to pinpoint where one ended and the other began. So that's why we can say management functions are never ending, it goes off with the time.